Christy
Yay.
again.
Nice to see you.
Good to
hang out again.
We've been here like our third or fourth talk.
I think
Different
so.
topics. A lot of it is you have a lot of connections, have done a lot of work, going to seminars, learning from experts how to do and what the information is. And thank you for sharing Dr. Zach's information with me, his YouTube video. Listen to it while I was watching the car yesterday.
Yeah.
It's an hour long, which is good information. I like him. Let me change the camera real quick, a little bit. Because a lot of what he did for me was he's a scientist.
Yes.
And being a scientist, this is people I follow. I want to know what's the chemical reaction, what's the internal, what are the studies, what's the sample size, and how long have you done it for? That makes something that we think as a theory could be a possible health issue or a health improvement benefit, gives it more credibility.
Yes.
And what he did for me in that video is go, okay, Christy, let's do this talk, because I want people to understand out there, by doing what they're doing now, maybe making them have cancer in the future.
Yeah.
Their kids have cancer in the future, which is hard to say, but you can't control that. Mm-hmm. At that point, understanding that what we can do now is there things happening from, say, 15, 20 years ago that our nation has changed the way we eat, the way we grow our foods, and the vitamins and minerals in our foods. Has that changed?
Yeah, well, if we look back like when you and I were growing up.
Yes.
I mean, I think I'm older than you, so.
I'm 43.
Oh, I'm 48. I win. Yay. But when we think about when we were growing up, we did not see a whole lot of disease.
No.
I think heart disease was something that was more prevalent.
Yes.
But I don't remember in growing up and even in my 20s knowing anybody that had an autoimmune disease.
Nope.
Even
I
diabetes.
didn't even know there was back then.
Yeah, I don't even know if they existed.
Like, once in a while I hear about someone having cancer, things like that,
so,
but it was more of natural causes.
So cancer was a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And even like attention issues. I know there was one student in my school that was on medication for attention. And so that was in the 70s. But disease was just not chronic.
Yes.
Until all of a sudden, I think we've moved into this place of chronic disease without realizing we're in a chronic disease state.
Well, that's a result of the way we've changed our farming.
Yeah.
The way we use our minerals in our foods, the pesticides used in our foods. People have heard this hundreds of times.
Right.
At least I have in my little world.
Right.
How has that progressed from, say, 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, and 2018 now? How have things shifted that type of farming to make our foods, what we eat, what we put in our body, affected?
How is it affected? And that's why I really appreciate Dr. Zach Bush's work, because that's been his research of really looking back to the 1940s. 1940s we started using antibiotics. Okay, so 1960s we started using pesticides, which we really hadn't been using pesticides before.
On our crops.
On our crops, right? And then 1980s we started using Roundup. 1990 we started having Roundup ready foods, so that these foods could handle the pesticides, right, without killing the foods. And so really what we started seeing in Dr. Bush's work is that by 1996, autoimmune, cancer, diabetes, attention issues, autism were just growing exponentially.
Well, and he had done the studies on diabetes. He was using, I think, if I remember probably from the video, a certain drug that was actually killing his patients. It was actually making him more sick, making him more psychotic for once. He was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right, just following what traditional medicine was following, although we need traditional medicine for certain things, but it wasn't solving the problem.
No.
And so, what his research has really followed is that Roundup, the glyphosate, how do you say that? I always say it wrong. Glyphosate. That's what it is, glyphosate.
Pesticide. They don't really
But there's
care.
a specific chemical in that Roundup.
Yes.
That what happened is that it's a water-soluble chemical. Most chemicals, I might be getting a little deep, are fat-soluble, so they don't infiltrate the water supply.
No.
So what happened, once we started spraying that Roundup, it infiltrated our water supply, and bam, by the 1990s, we're seeing massive disease, and it's kind of like we hadn't really caught on. Like, we're just dealing with it, but we hadn't really, I don't think as a society we've realized that we didn't used to be so sick.
Well, and what he did was find the root of the cause.
Yes.
And then understanding that glyphosate, whatever it is, it breaks down your intestinal lining.
Yes.
So as a root of the cause of intestinal lining disease, At that point, your body can't fight off things that are normal in our environment, parasites, bacteria, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That being the root, the cause of causing inflammatory disease, leaky gut syndrome, cancers for one too, autoimmune disease, more infections in the overall body. Yeah. So if you take the sequence back to that, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Right, and we really didn't see leaky gut. Like, people didn't have wheat allergies when we were kids.
What the heck, what's gluten?
Right? Yeah. I mean, we ate food and it was fine.
Yes.
And what you were saying is that it really goes back to, we've switched from just acute inflammation, like when we twist our ankle or something and our body needs that inflammatory response, that everybody's inflamed, chronic inflammation in the body, and it's really going back to the gut. Yeah. And that's been my focus, is gut health, is building that healthy gut-brain connection. And what we're finding is it's that chemical that's breaking the tight junctions in our gut, and it's causing leaky gut.
What is a tight junction?
So a tight junction is like the Velcro. So our cells are like, our gut lining is only one cell deep. Like our skin's like 50, right? Yes. So it's a really thin membrane.
It has to be to absorb good material, good foods, good elements, good vitamins.
And the tight junctions are like the Velcro that hold it together.
Good.
When we consume, the Roundup Ready products, which is even in our water supply right now, is that it's breaking those tight junctions and it's causing leaky gut, but it's also causing leaky brain because it's really getting through that blood-brain barrier also.
So it actually gets into affects your body's chemistry and also hormonal levels too.
Yeah, or leaking.
Yeah. Leaking is bad.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. You don't want to be leaking inside.
Well, I've done previous talks too, to where, and what does antibiotics do short-term, long-term in your body that affects that tight junction along with causing intestinal lining issues?
Well, interestingly enough, glyphosate is an antibiotic.
Got it. Okay.
So antibiotics would be having a similar effect, and it's killing the bacteria in our gut.
Good and bad, just annihilates everything.
Right. So what we've learned is we're actually more bacterial than we are human, and that's, so having this antibiotic coming in through our food supply, and then, sometimes being sick and having antibiotics, it's very much of a similar reaction that we've depleted our microbiome, which we've learned that it's really our gut that's controlling everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is when you've done that, now your immune system has dropped. So ability to get yourself overall healthy from being sick, you never really get to that 100%.
Right, and our immune system is right on the other side of that gut barrier. So then our immune system is compromised, and our immune system, 80% is made in our gut.
And we're told too, if you have a pain or if you have an infection or a fever, if you're sick, go see your doctor.
Yeah.
The problem with a leaky gut and having those issues, what would you feel?
So symptoms of leaky gut?
Yes.
So some people don't even know that they have it.
That's the issue.
Right.
You're not even getting checked out.
A lot of times allergies, skin issues, they're really a sign of leaky gut also. They are gut issues. People might experience bloating or constipation or diarrhea, IBS,
even
food
like
allergies.
Fatigue,
Brain fog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so, a lot of it is people aren't going to have pain from their gut. Let's say they have major issues going on, but things like that Christy had mentioned, a lot of maybe I have something going on. It's not medically emergency situation, but can it affect me long term if I don't deal with it now?
Yeah.
Can get checked out.
And even things that we think are brain issues, are gut issues like anxiety and depression, are gut issues.
Well, a lot of it is if it's affecting the blood-brain barrier, cause your body to become more non-immune resistant, which is basically saying your immunity's dropped. Your overall body becomes more resistant or more able to be infected. At that point, your stress hormones go up, your chemistry body changes, your overall balance is off, your body stays in a stress state. That makes sense why you would be in more of an anxious type of stress state all the time.
Yeah.
With my circle of what I just did.
Where that was really impressive.
Where that was.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Good. And what else would Dr. Zach talk about too?
A lot of his foundation of his talk. So, I found out about him a couple months ago and went to a training he had in Pasadena, specifically to be able to meet him and hear him talk in person.
She actually goes to the work,
right? with what he is sharing with people. but it's really, you know, this is where we're at, really becoming aware, and his focus was that we don't want to go down a rabbit hole. We want to be looking at broad, what's really happening in our society, and having that awareness. So once we're really aware of what's happening, and if we look at statistics that he shared, he said 1 in 2 people are suffering from depression.
Yes.
1 in 2 are suffering from cancer. He said people in general are showing signs of Alzheimer's by age 28. Kids are really suffering from attention issues. 1 in 8, he said the statistics, but he said school teachers would probably tell you it's much more than that.
Well, and he's a scientist too. He's not just out there preaching. He's actually done the research. He sees the case studies come by his computer, his office. He looks at all the information first, then he talks. That's what I appreciate. He has a credibility behind it.
Yeah, and being that he was in cancer research, and then turned, when he realized that wasn't working, turned his practice into a more holistic approach and really discovered, you know, what he's been sharing and what his message has been. So part of it's creating that awareness. And then it's, well, now what can we do? And he stresses very much that we're at a tipping point.
Yes.
That we need to take care, really take our health back now and have an awareness. We can't just keep on going on not aware, because we're at a huge point where we're seeing mental health just going off the charts. Yeah, I work in schools, and so for me, that's my passion, is helping kids to live a healthy life. I think that kids deserve to be healthy. Like, that should just be a given.
Well, their potential is so much, and we control that as parents, as teachers, as advocates for kids. So why wouldn't we want to give them the best? Is it a lot because people are just naive, they don't know what to do?
And it's really because of this poisoning of our system.
Yes.
So what we're seeing in schools is at young age, kids are having attention issues. You know, many kids are, you know, many different levels of attention issues are showing up. And food allergies, once again, so we're in more chronic disease. 46% of our kids have chronic disease. And then by the time they're in middle school, it's anxiety and depression. And so in the schools, I see this. I see the teachers more frustrated because they're having to teach things they didn't have to teach, of, you know, how to sit in your chair and, you know, how to pay attention, where kids used to have a different level of focus. And so if we're looking at that, it's really our food supply that's been tainted. It's not a fault of, okay, our parents aren't doing a good job. I'm a parent, you know, too. And my daughter really suffered from anxiety, and she had major digestive issues, and then it turned into anxiety. And 10 years ago, I knew that every time her stomach hurt, her head hurt. I knew there was a brain-gut connection, but 10 years ago, this information wasn't out there. So that's really what lit my passion of, if this is going on for her, what's going on for other kids. And so, and it's only gotten worse.
And you can see that link. Some parents have no idea. They're just trying to keep their kids healthy.
Right. They're doing the best they can. And my kids have allergies and they're sick all the time. And so I think people are doing the best they can to keep themselves healthy and their kids healthy. What we haven't known is, why does everybody feel so bad? Why are our kids struggling so much? So now we have that awareness. Well, what do we do with it?
And I think a lot of that's going to be, how do you, okay, now that I know my kid is either, we all think our kids get healthier, correct?
Yeah.
If we focus on that for right now, at that point, what else can I do to help my kid get healthy? Or if he is sick or she's sick, how do I get the right care relative to doing the traditional medications, antibiotics, stomach problem, headaches? I give some aspirin for the headaches, migraine medications for one too. So how do they get away from that and find either a doctor or a consultant like yourself, a coach that can give them the right information to start here at home, start in your fridge, start on what you're doing at home, and see if that can cause a change.
Yeah, absolutely. So really looking at the child as a holistic approach, and being really clear of what we see. So not only for children, but for ourselves too.
Of course.
And we know that healing the gut is key.
Yes.
So I will mention that Dr. Bush has a product that he created called Restore. So I'll show that to you guys up there if you can see that.
I put the link in the video too, the show notes.
And so what that product is doing, and this is something that I recommend to my clients also. I don't sell the product. I have no benefit from it, no money on this.
Why are you even talking about it then? Why would you waste your time?
Because it is so important that we heal our gut. And so as many tools that I can offer people, I want them to have those tools.
Well, and I was watching a video on it. What it does is really allow your body to absorb more water,
Yeah, it stops you from leaking.
Hey! Well, and like you mentioned too, the lining itself, when it becomes less Velcro-ish, everything doesn't get absorbed, it needs to absorb.
Right.
If our body has more water, does it function at a higher level?
Yeah, so it's really sealing that gut-brain membrane.
Exactly.
And helping our gut to work properly, and it's also helping our mitochondria to be connecting, because our cells have not been getting what they need because of our depleted food and our gut leaking. So it's really a foundational product. I think and there's different ways to use it, so you'd have to see the site on that.
It makes somebody has videos on there how to do it and what to do.
But that is a simple thing that people can start doing to improve their gut health. Other things, food is important. Getting our cleanest sources of food. So,
going back to water too.
Right.
Are there certain waters to avoid or drink more of that can be affected with the Restore and make your body, like I said, the mitochondria, everything to revolve around that, get more water to your organs and muscles and tissues?
I would say when it comes to water, I would say if we can get rid of the sodas.
Yeah, it's
and the juices.
Exactly.
So I mean, yes, there's better waters.
You read my mind, yes.
But if we can really just drink water. And regardless of what kind, water would probably be a whole nother program we'd have to do.
Well, why are juices bad? Why are sodas bad?
Yeah.
Bad, why?
Yeah, so,
why? They may not know. They may not
know. Why are they bad? So sodas are...
See Danny Serrano watching right now, or Cecilia watching right now.
Do you want to know why soda's bad? And so, they taste good, right? Yes. But they are, it's not just sugar in there, it's high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
And that high fructose corn syrup is going straight to our liver, because our liver is what processes fructose. So a soda is literally no different than alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's killing our liver. But, alcohol, you can only drink so much and you pass out. Soda, you don't pass out.
Like, I want one more.
And it's addicting, right?
Well, and the taste is addicting, too. I drank sodas probably about 20 years ago. Loved Diet Cokes.
Oh, me
also,
too.
I read something like, this is ridiculous. Why have I been drinking this? It's going to kill me. But somebody else probably killed me first. But I stopped in about a month, and I came back and like, that taste is very artificial when you get away from it for a long time.
Right.
Give yourself in my sense, about a month going off of it. Yeah. And then try again and go, oh, that's why I'm off it.
Yeah.
Even with juices too, why are juices poor for your
once again, it's
choice?
High concentration of sugar. It's better to have a piece of fruit because you're getting the fiber and all the nutrients. We're getting high sugar, and we don't need that much sugar. A little bit of sugar is okay. We want to enjoy life, but we want to have balance. And so really sticking to water is really going to be our best choice. But, be hydrated. So.
And water versus a juice too. Juice is more of a concentrated type of thing. Mm-hmm. So you have a juice that's say maybe 10% the actual orange. So other percent is water mixed with sugars and chemicals to make it taste like an actual orange.
Yeah.
You get that? So water and juice are two different things. So you want to make sure you're getting the full concentration, the full amount, not just the juice, because the juice will be more of a breakdown, even with milk too, right?
Yeah, and milk is an interesting topic too, because some people can do milk and some people can't.
I can't.
And so that's a whole other one.
Well, and a whole milk versus 2% or non-fat, because you don't want to need milky. At that point, now you're filling it with sugars and chemicals to make it taste like milk.
So I would say if somebody's going to drink milk, make it organic and make it whole.
Make it whole.
You need the fat.
Be the whole person.
But,
be the whole milk.
Whole child, whole person, whole milk.
All of it, the whole thing.
Whole food.
The whole Foods. Go to Whole Foods, maybe. They have whole milk and whole juice or something. I don't know. All right, we're rolling here. We're rolling.
Yes. And so, I am a fan of raw milk.
Yeah.
That's good.
And anything raw, too, is going to be good for you, period, right?
Hopefully. Now, sometimes people that are really experiencing digestive issues, having raw vegetables is really hard on their gut. So it really depends where you're at.
Well, and going back to foods, too, how do we look at foods and go, okay, are my foods actually giving me nutrients I need? Or are they kind of gone down to a juice, lower concentration?
Well, I would say really what we're seeing is that our food is not the same quality as it was 50 years ago because of what we've done to our food supply.
Huge.
So our best choice is to buy from farmers that are really paying attention to the soil content and the bacteria in the soil. That's going to give us our best chance of getting good, deep nutrition food.
Yes.
Was that your question?
It was. And part of it, too, is, like you talked about in the video, is a lot of our, what's it called, tomatoes now, they don't have the nutrients that it had, liposine, even 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Has a very low, it's almost minute.
So food used to be our medicine, right?
That's what I'm getting to.
It's still a tool in our toolbox,
yes.
but it's not everything. We've got to put other things in there that support our health and our well-being.
How do we do that? What do you suggest?
So I suggest, I do consultations with people to find out where they're at, and then I use different tools for helping to build the gut. So one of the things that I use are movements that help to create a natural state of balance in our body that reduce our stress. So, even though we've got stuff going on with our food,
yes.
a lot of digestive issues are exacerbated by stress. So learning how to turn off the stress response or lower our stress are really important. So that's a key part of the work that I do, is helping people learn how to turn off that stress response and ways that we can warm our gut, which might sound strange.
No.
Did you know we needed a warm gut?
I know we did an interview with this. Was about probably 2 months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for the healthy microorganisms in our gut to thrive, they actually, the good ones like warmth.
Yes.
And the unhealthy ones like cold.
Yeah.
So things like ice are really hard on our gut. It's really hard on
it
our
slows down motility too, right? It slows down movement in our
Mm-hmm.
gut, circulation.
Yeah.
So you want to increase the warmth, increase circulation, if there's a way to say that, to balance it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's really learning, like, what are the best foods for your body, because not everything's good for people. Like you said, okay, milk isn't good for you.
Yeah.
It might be okay for somebody else. But really finding what are those foods that feel good in your body, that your body's digesting properly, that's reducing inflammation in your body. So I work a lot with inflammation, so noticing what is inflammatory and what's anti-inflammatory.
And knowing certain foods are, they categorize them for one too. Certain good for your blood types, certain anti-inflammatory, inflammatory, more omega-3, omega-6 base. These are all the things you can find online.
It is, and here's the thing, there's just not one way to eat for people.
No.
So there's so many people that say, eat paleo or eat this. You really have to test out for your body. Grains can be fabulous for somebody, and someone else, they're toxic.
Yeah.
And so they boost their blood sugar. So it's really experimenting with those foods that are right for you.
And for your kids too.
Yes.
How do you tell if a kid is responding well to certain food or not responding well?
Well, they're probably gonna, looking at, depending on if they were having symptoms, right? Do they get congested, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, certain things, are there allergies that come around too?
Okay.
And we know for certain that the processed foods, not good. Right? What? I know.
Well, food that never go bad. It's amazing.
Yeah, that just stays. So the more that we're helping our kids eat fresh and love their vegetables and their fruit. And
well, even if they say, I don't want to eat that, can you give them better choice? Can you find choices that they actually want that are healthy for them?
Yeah.
As parents, we have to take the time and effort to realize, hey, we're teaching them now healthy or unhealthy habits to make their life easier or harder in the future.
Yes, that's true.
And it's because your kid's friends eat pizza every day. It doesn't mean your kid has to do it every day. Right. Can you give them better choices, like you said before, having it in the fridge, having it available to them all the time, packing their lunch, so they get that taste in their mouth every day or every other day to make it their normal. They want that in their body.
Yeah, it just becomes a habit for them.
Huge.
And I would say when kids come over, offer it to them. We always eat vegetables with breakfast.
Oh.
And so when kids would come over in the morning, well, do you want broccoli?
Yeah.
And a lot of them would say yes. And if they said no, that's
right.
fine too.
Yeah.
But they were always offered, and not everybody has that concept of eating vegetables in the morning.
So pancakes are not the best thing in the world every day. With a lot of syrup.
You can make some healthy pancakes.
Yeah.
You really can.
Actually, my son was talking about that. He does a protein type of pancake thing or something. Okay. But a lot of it is making yourself aware of the other choices for you and your family relative to normal stuff we do every day.
Yeah, and there's really healthy choices for almost anything. You can make healthy pancakes. You can make a healthy, muffin that actually is good for you and not, and causing inflammation in your body.
Well, and a lot of it is are we still going back to we should take a vitamin every day? Is that something we should still do, or is that
I get hesitant because I'm not a doctor.
The generalization.
To be recommending too many, but I would
What's
say
natural,
in
so I don't
general,
worry about it. Even though I'm a
yeah,
doctor, I
right.
don't care.
But you know, in general, I do recommend some supplements. I don't like over supplementing.
Yeah, that's the problem. Nutraceuticals become problems where you take that instead of eating good foods.
Yes.
You take that because you want to drink a soda every day.
Yeah.
You drink naked juice, Danny, because you think it's good for you. Look at the sugar content. I saw your comment on there too. So look at the sugar content, buddy. That's the key. And the sugar, again, will dehydrate your body, but also realize there's things in there that may not be the best thing for you. Eating an orange is probably better for you, Danny, with especially some water.
Yeah.
Okay. So doing things that are more simple versus buying what's on the shelf to make your life easier.
Yeah.
And we talked about before is meal prepping allows you and your family to enjoy more accessible foods all the time too.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes there's just really simple meals that you can make. Like even if you get home and it's late, instead of grabbing fast food, I mean, you can make some scrambled eggs, throw some avocado and salsa on it.
Huge.
You know, and have some cucumbers with it or something. Good. I mean, you can make a meal really quickly that it might be breakfast for dinner, but you know, that's going to be much better and save you money than stopping somewhere.
Well, and as a coach too, do you walk them through what foods they're eating now and how to make better choices?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need to. So I really need to find out where people are at.
Got it. Give them a baseline.
And then so where are you at?
Okay.
And then we move slowly.
Okay.
You know, if you're like, get rid of all that, you know, they're not going to come back.
Like, I can't eat nothing anymore. That's what I like.
And so here's the thing: we want a really healthy relationship with food. It's not that we can't eat something, but we want to look at, does that really make me feel good?
Huge.
You know, so we're looking for what gives me energy, what takes away energy, what causes inflammation, what takes away inflammation. So, you know, we can eat anything we want, but what are those things that are going to help us really feel good? Because, you know, we're really up to doing other things in our life. We want to feel good so we can do things, right?
We don't eat just to eat and go take a nap and couch potato it. We also want to...
I mean, some people might.
Yeah, but those people may not be watching the show. So I can talk about them all day long. A lot of it is, how do we eat for fuel and keeping our body healthy from a hormonal chemical perspective, keeping our gut healthy, because that's where, obviously that's what controls a lot of our hormones in our overall body chemistry, so we can tolerate more stress in the environment and do more things to make our body healthier, tolerate more stress.
Yes. And
that's
I think
the key, right?
And I think it's key to really talk that we've got to be building the bacteria in our gut.
Good.
And so that's so important that we're getting outside in nature where it's not sprayed, where there's no chemicals.
How would going outside build bacteria in our guts?
So there's healthy bacteria in soil that has not been sprayed.
Got it, okay.
Right? So when we're spraying, then we're killing the bacteria and the fungus in the soil.
Yes.
And that's really what we need to repopulate a healthy gut. So the more that we can, even, you know, petting animals, right? They're dirty. That dirt... You know,
I don't like dirt.
It's really good for us, but outside we want to get in the dirt ourselves. We want our kids to be in the dirt. You know, get away from the playgrounds, get away from the schoolyards, and get
more natural dirt.
Dirty.
More natural dirt for one.
More natural dirt, yeah.
And even like parks may not be the best place for them.
Right.
We live in Upland and Glendora, and we're on the hills, the foothills they call them for a reason, because we're at the foot of the hills. And go to the hills.
Go to the hills.
Spend
the hills are alive.
Yeah.
Right? Sound of music.
Yeah, my wife and daughter watch it all the time. It annoys me. But a lot of it is, can you get out there and just enjoy natural environment and go to a natural stream and touch the stream, touch the water. Go to the ocean. Even though the ocean may be polluted, it still has more things you can do in the sand also than being just with shoes on all the time. And being more worried about being sterile, using antibacterial every day. We already know it's not the best thing for you. When you balance it out with doing other things, that keeps your body healthy. Look, we all live in a, if you want to call it 9-to-5 environment, most of us do. How do we go, when we're not 9 to 5, say before 9 and after 5, how do we enjoy life naturally, keep our body healthy in a natural environment, good simple foods, without overeating just to feel good?
Yeah.
That kind of gives me the big picture.
Yes.
When I talk to myself when I watch this video game later on. To edit it, always have to edit it.
Talking to yourself is always a good idea.
Well, and with yours too, how do you walk through someone with Restore, with belly button healing, with what you do? How do you get them started?
So generally first I need to find out where they're at. Create that baseline, see what they're experiencing, because so many issues are gut related that people don't realize.
Yes.
So I kind of find out really what they're experiencing, and from there it's key that we start understanding that we do have a natural state of balance in our body. And I know I've shared this with you, but I might as well share this with all of you in case you haven't seen that.
Worldwide world.
But to me, this is like my overall passion is to get this concept into the schools. Is that we have a natural state of balance in our body, and our natural state of balance is very much like a tree. It just keeps going back to nature. Eat real food, be outside. We're like a tree. Yeah. So a tree needs to have sunshine coming down to thrive, right? Okay. And it needs to have water coming up, and when it gets enough sun and water, it thrives, right?
Based on the soil content.
Based on if we're not giving it Roundup.
Exactly, taking that Roundup.
So some trees are not thriving the way they should because of that. So this is just going to create a whole new picture. And
you can be alive, doesn't mean you're thriving.
Right, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Got it.
Right.
So kids, for example, because there's people that we watch and see they're growing. They may be growing, but they may be tired all the time. Yes. They may be a little bit overweight. They may be have allergies that they continue to go on medications for because the doctors can't fix it.
Right. Yeah.
That kind of gives me a big picture as a parent. Yeah. Okay, what do I look for? Yeah. And in myself too as an adult, can I lose a couple extra pounds, and when I eat, do I eat enough to feel like I have energy, but not overeat and not need a power nap?
Right.
Can I still take every day because it's healthy for me?
Right. I think napping is fabulous.
Yes.
But let's go back to that natural state of balance because that's key for creating a natural, like a healthy state of like weight. Hormone balance, everything is going to be helped by understanding how our body's naturally supposed to be.
Got it.
And so just like a tree, we create warm energy in our body.
Yes.
And that energy is meant to flow down to our abdomen.
Yes.
Okay? So when it does it, I talked about we need a warm abdomen. So when it does, we digest our food properly, we go to the bathroom properly, we feel balanced and grounded on our feet. And our circulation is good.
Yes.
And that signals our kidneys to release water, goes up to our head, and it cools our head. So that's our natural state of balance. And so when that balance is reversed, our energy flows up, and we start feeling anxious, depressed, brain fog, and then start experiencing digestive issues. Now, because of what we've done to our environment, it's more common that people are having those issues without even knowing it. But still understanding that natural state of balance and creating that. So when you start your day, there's simple mindfulness exercises that you can do that just take a couple minutes that create a clear head, right? A cool head and a warm abdomen, so that when you start your day, you're feeling really balanced and grounded. Your circulation is good.
There you
Key for health is circulation also. And so that is a key concept that I teach people, and this is a concept that I'm teaching in schools so that administrators and teachers understand it for themselves, because we're all going to have busy days. And challenges that come our way, but if we can keep ourselves balanced and grounded, we're going to be able to handle those stresses that come our way in a much better fashion.
Well, a lot of it is if we know we can't leave work till, say, as a teacher, maybe 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. How do I make sure I have enough cognitive ability, energy levels, and tolerance to handle that day?
Yeah.
And why would I want to start the day at a lower level and have to work my way up the whole day long and struggle with effort versus, like you said, start at a better balancing point so you can tolerate that day better?
Yes, absolutely. So just taking a couple minutes, right? That you're actually, so I teach a lot of brain breaks that are building the gut-brain connection, but it's getting our circulation going. So our brain doesn't even work unless it's got blood flow. Our brain requires 25% of our blood flow. Wow. So if we think about it, like a kid, they get up, they get dressed, they rush to school, they're sitting. The brain's not even awake. Teachers, same thing, right? Or people just going to work, get up, they do what they have to do, they get to work. Not everybody works out like you do in the morning.
I do. Try to.
So you've already got your blood to your brain, but we're waking up already in kind of a fight or flight mode. People are chronically in that state. And so, having those tools to just balance really quickly, and then throughout the day, just taking 1-minute breaks that you can rebalance your body are really powerful.
So you actually give people tools to start their morning off as a good habit, and then also throughout the day, hey, I have 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, I have a lunch break. How do I reset again?
Yeah, and it's really, mindfulness is a huge key for the work that I do, and so often people think of mindfulness as you got to sit and breathe and clear your head and not, but we can be mindful in every aspect of our life, mindful of the food choices that we're having, our stress level when we're eating, mindful of the condition of our body. So if we're checking in and we're noticing, wow, I'm feeling kind of stressed right now, let me take a brain break. We give kids brain breaks, but so often as adults we'll just push through and just push. It doesn't matter how bad you feel, right? And so we need to check in and notice when we're needing a break, and even if it's just going and walking outside and taking a couple breaths.
Give me 5.
Or, I can show you a couple of fun things.
And part of it is that you talk about, it's not just you should be, you show them how to.
Yeah.
Which is important to me. Again, you can tell me I can read all day long inspirational quotes, I should be mindful, but without knowing what to do.
Yeah.
But once you have those habits for someone, how does people respond? How do your clients respond to that?
Well, and what I would say is people have to feel a difference in their body. So in any work that I do personally with a client, the key is that we always start with movement, so they feel we're literally throwing away the stress in the day.
And then it works,
and
right?
So then we can sit down and have a conversation and talk about what's really present for them. But, before that, we hold so much emotion in our body. And so, I teach people to get in touch with their body and start really paying attention.
You're more aware of what's going on with your body.
We've lost that connection even with ourselves.
No.
We're too busy being on phones and
dang that phone.
things.
Dang that phone.
Yeah.
That's taking the video right now.
Yeah. And so we've really lost, our body is our best guide to actually what's right for us. And if we learn to tune into our body, all of a sudden we realize I feel really good when I have a kale salad. Well, when I have a, soda, I actually feel a little rush, and then I kind of crash. So when we learn to tune into our body, so it's really key to
It's a learning process.
It's a learning process.
And everyone's body's different.
Yeah.
So you take their body and go, okay, what are you doing to your body with your food, with your beverages, with your sleep, with your mindfulness or lack of mindfulness, or exercise, non-exercise? How do you adjust all those things over a period of weeks and months to give yourself a good habit to get yourself to a healthier you? And then from there, when you fall off, now you'll notice where you're falling off. And how do I reset? I know these habits now.
Yeah.
You teach them how to stay at a higher level of health. So maybe they're 10 years old. Great, they're going to grow up better. If they're 50, they can grow up better. They can still grow and get healthier wherever they are. And using Restore and Blood and Healing too allows you tools to allow your body to be able to tolerate the environment you're in when you can't change things.
Right.
So it allows you to go, okay, I can't change my environment, I can't change my workload, my work stress, my kids' stress, my dog stress.
Right.
My dog stress. Sometimes dogs stress you out. They want walks all the time. It's crazy.
I know.
So how do you?
They want you to reduce your stress.
Exactly. Try to help, but sometimes they're painful. So how do you make that stress that's a constant variable tolerate more? But getting their body healthier by using this allows them to get there, I think.
Yeah. So it is, and then also mindset.
Huge.
That's a whole nother one.
And how do you maintain a good mindset by doing the good habits? So your mindset doesn't go back to what becomes more stressful for your mind than your body.
Because it's really what we think we're creating in our life. Yeah, that one, we don't have time to dig into that one, but what we think is really powerful.
Well, and then Vanessa's on the show too, and I watch her stuff. A lot of it is helping women transform their bodies, so their bodies actually gets better over time. Yes. And when you realize this, for your body chemistry to change, your hormone levels to change, takes about 30 days minimum. If you're 30 or 40, if you're older, it takes longer. When you're a child, sometimes faster. So how do we give ourselves the patience to realize, even though I'm doing the right things, not seeing results, it takes time. So give yourself that time to maintain habits and see the long-term benefits for you and your family.
Absolutely. Yes.
Anything else to kind of wrap it up?
Oh, you want me to wrap it up? It's my
show.
Tell
me about your coaching. How does your coaching work?
Okay, well, what I do is I offer a discovery session, really a healthy gut session, to find out. A lot of times families will come to me, or individual clients will come to me, and they just want to know how to really build a healthy gut, or they're experiencing some type of digestive issue, or allergy, or anxiety, or depression. And we meet for about an hour and 15 minutes. I charge $49 to really learn what is going on for them, and then I start teaching healing exercises for the body. So my commitment is everything we do is fun.
Yes.
Because health needs to be fun.
If you watch
right?
our first video, it was way too much fun.
And so, so we have a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we find out really what the next steps would be if, just that one session gives you some tools and you're good to go, or if you're needing some more support, and then we kind of go from there.
But you have individual classes, you have group classes.
Yeah, so I do my individual coaching, and then I also do group classes that I'm teaching these healing exercises for building a healthy gut and brain and making our brain more flexible.
Wow.
I do those every week.
Good.
So I do 3 classes a week, so people are, I love having more people join us for that.
She has tons of room.
And then this summer, I'm actually starting to do kids empowerment classes for
what
teens. So it's really for teens or pre-teens between 10 and 14.
Okay.
And I'm doing group classes to teach them, once again, some of these mindfulness exercises that are so fun, teaching a natural state of balance in their body so they know how to, it really helps them reduce their stress and increase their focus and help regulate their own emotions. We're learning how to talk back to automatic negative thoughts. That voice in our head that's
you're
not
no
always
good.
Yeah.
You're never gonna make it.
Right, you're not smart enough, you're not. It's always you're not enough for
I laugh
something,
because
right?
it happens all the time. And
Right.
part of these talks and what I love about these talks when I do them is how do you, because kids at that age between 10 and 18 years old, their hormones are so off balance.
Yeah.
They're so vulnerable to the negative talk, which is very common around maybe their house, their school, their friends, whatever it is.
Yeah.
How do you maintain a high level of self-esteem, high level of self-confidence, and by making their body internally healthy, you're allowing that to happen. And then the mindset, how do you do mindset exercises so that maintains a higher level of self-esteem, their body stays healthy.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We play a whole lot. It's a lot of fun, but it's really giving them those tools to transform those thoughts. And when a kid feels good about themselves and somebody else decides to say something else to them, it's not such a big deal.
They can tolerate it. They
So
have
I really feel like how we transform what we're seeing in schools where there's so much, bullying going on, is that we give those kids the tools that they feel good about themselves. So if we don't have to listen to our own thoughts in our head, why would we have to listen to someone else's thought in their head? It's just as not true as most of our thoughts, right? So
instead of doing the school thing, hey, don't bully, how do you focus on, hey, I can it's going to happen, so how do we, if it's going to happen, how do we make our kids more able to handle that and be more of the positive influence in that group setting, the leader in that, versus just putting up with it? Because
people are going to say things all the time.
All the time.
And really, in my understanding and from some of the people I work with, they said, bullying happens a lot in the workplace. So having those, probably not here because you guys, this is your business.
I get bullied by the girls. Staff bully me all the time.
Right, yeah.
But a lot of it is...
But you've learned how to deal with that, right?
We did talk with Jessica before too, and part of it is the workplace, because she deals a lot of, her and her husband have a dojo. A lot of it is workplaces are notorious for the harassment, the effect that even anywhere you go to. So how do you make people more aware it's happening and tolerate better by staying healthy, both with mindfulness and also physical movement like you do too, the mindful movement you do, just phenomenal. We did a workshop here about a month and a half ago where it was a great work to get people to move and feel happy about moving, so they do it more and more and more. Yeah. And I still have to get you an intro. The intro video as a separate video too. Okay. I'm going to put that on there so people see that, because that's the mindset you need to do those things. Yes. And starting with that, like you do with your coaching, how do you get that someone to understand how important that is? At that point, maintain that through their life. So they're every day they wake up, okay, what can I do today to make myself tolerate this stress I'm going to go through every day more? Yeah. How would I do more? Stay healthy.
Yeah. And what are we telling ourselves when we wake up in the morning?
Huge. Huge.
We want it to be powerful, right?
Well, in a good way. At that point, if you start it that way, you can handle some of the activity. It doesn't drop you down to where that becomes the rest of your day. Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. It's always fun.
And we did this kind of spontaneously, but it worked out well with the videos and Dr. Zach too. Yeah. And his restored the belly button too. But I love your coaching, because your coaching, it helps people connect like it did with you and other people in your circle that want to keep people healthy. Maybe through, like with Lisa, through her hair. Other things too. Even with Donna, with helping people who need coaching when they have cancer or family member too. So it gets people the whole idea, all these shows, to what can you do on your own, what can you get help with, and then go on your own to keep yourself healthy. or recover from if you have an injury or something going on in your body.
Absolutely. We need resources and tools and support.
This is what they do.
Yeah.
Anything else for your 8,000th show on the show?
I don't know. It's always, I mean, I would say check out Dr. Zach Bush and listen to his videos. He does a lot of work with Autism One, and
I'll link his longer video.
He's got a lot of,
talk,
he's a wealth of knowledge in there, and let's get everyone healthy.
Cool. And I'm going to replay the show too. I'll probably hopefully post it tonight or tomorrow on our YouTube channel, also you can see it. And the topic will be how do you keep your gut healthy so overall body stays healthy.
Yeah.
And understanding that these talks allow you to make better choices in your foods and also mindfulness, at that point doing the right things to stay healthy.
Yeah, and just have fun. Like,
That's it. Like,
what are you doing today to have fun and enjoy your life?
No. It's too simple.
Yeah, have
Christy,
fun.
It's way too simple.
Have food and eat food that makes you feel good and, take care of your gut.
Good.
There we go. That's it.
Well, thank you, Christy. Again, all your information will be on the show notes too in our YouTube channel once we put it out there.
Okay.
See you next talk.
Okay, it's been fun.
Thanks.